you're standing at a crossroads. A new job offer, a potential move to a new city, a critical decision in a relationship. You've made the pro-con list. The logic is flawless, the spreadsheet is perfect. But deep in your gut, something feels off. Or maybe, it feels incredibly, undeniably right. What is that feeling? Is it just random biological noise, or is it a status report from a second brain, sending you mission-critical intelligence from the dark? Tonight, let's run an experiment of the imagination. If you could swap your microbiome, the trillion-member city of microbes in your gut, with someone else's overnight, who would you be when you woke up? Would your cravings change? Your anxiety levels? Your very sense of who you are? That is our way in. We are about to follow the wires, the chemical messengers, and the secret predictive maps that allow your gut to talk to your mind, and why sometimes it's the one in charge. Let's start with a surprise. You are not just one person. You are a superorganism, and you're carrying a fully functional, independent neural command center in your abdomen. It's called the Enteric Nervous System, the ENS. And it's not just a few stray nerves. We're talking about a sprawling network of somewhere between 100 to 500 million neurons. That's more neurons than are in your spinal cord, and roughly the same as in the entire brain of a cat. This isn't a small outpost, it's a city. And this city lines your entire digestive tract, a 9-meter-long tube of incredible complexity. Think of it this way. The brain in your head is the federal government. It handles the big picture, foreign policy, national security, conscious thought. But the enteric nervous system is the local city government of your gut. It manages all the day-to-day operations without ever needing to call headquarters. It runs the local traffic system, the muscle waves, called peristalsis, that move food along. It manages the city's sanitation and chemical plants, controlling the release of digestive enzymes and acids. It directs the municipal services, adjusting blood flow to deliver nutrients where they're needed. It can do all of this, running complex reflexes, completely on its own. If you were to sever the connection to the main brain, your gut would keep on digesting. But here's the key: independent does not mean isolated. This neural city is constantly talking to the federal government. And this is where our story gets really interesting. The communication isn't a balanced conversation. It's a flood of intelligence flowing in one primary direction, from the gut up to the brain. So how does this forgotten brain send its messages? It uses 4 distinct, overlapping communication channels. The first and most direct route is the vagus nerve. Picture a massive, bidirectional fiber optic cable running from the brainstem all the way down to your colon. Now, here's the mind-bending part. Somewhere between 80 to 90% of the traffic on this superhighway flows upwards, from the gut to the brain. Your brain isn't so much commanding the gut as it is listening to it. Intently. What is it listening for? It's getting real-time intelligence reports. Status updates on mechanical stretch, how full you are. Chemical whispers from the gut lining about the nutrients you've just eaten. It even receives the drumbeat of your gut's rhythmic contractions. This isn't just noise. It's a rich, complex data stream about your internal world. The second channel is the postal service of hormones. Your gut is the largest endocrine organ in your body. Specialized cells in your gut lining release a whole pharmacy of hormones into your bloodstream. You've probably heard of some of them. Ghrelin, the hunger hormone, is made in the stomach and sends a powerful message to your brain: hunt for food, now. Then there's GLP-1 and CCK, hormones that are released after a meal, sending chemical notes that say, fuel is here, mission accomplished, and slow down, we're full. But these hormones do more than just manage appetite. They profoundly alter the reward centers in your brain, influencing what you crave and how good you feel after eating. They can even change how well you learn and form memories associated with a meal. Your gut is literally telling your brain what to value and what to remember. The third channel is through your immune system. About 70% of your body's immune cells live in and around your gut. When your gut is irritated by an infection, an allergen, or a stressful event, these immune cells release tiny messenger proteins called cytokines. Think of these cytokines as inflammatory postcards. They travel through your system and can cross into the brain, where they fundamentally shift neural sensitivity. A wave of inflammatory cytokines can tilt your mood downwards, make you feel lethargic, withdrawn, and even change your perception of pain. This is that classic sickness behavior. It's a direct message from your gut's immune system telling your brain to shut things down and conserve energy to fight a threat. Finally, and perhaps most astonishingly, is the fourth channel, the chemical broadcasts from your microbiome. The trillions of bacteria, fungi, and viruses living in your gut are not passive passengers. They are a massive, sophisticated chemical factory. When you eat fiber, you can't digest it. But your microbes can. They ferment it and produce a treasure trove of molecules, most notably short-chain fatty acids, or SC-phase. The big three are butyrate, acetate, and propionate. Think of these as small, energetic letters mailed from your microbes. Butyrate is the preferred fuel source for the cells lining your colon, keeping your gut wall strong and healthy. Acetate and propionate can travel through the blood, cross the formidable blood-brain barrier, and directly influence your brain. They can calm inflammation in the brain, help maintain the blood-brain barrier's vigilance, and even serve as building blocks for brain chemistry. And it gets even more direct. Some of your gut microbes can manufacture neurotransmitters themselves, or the precursors to them. They can make GABA, the brain's primary calming, inhibitory chemical. They can produce precursors to dopamine, the molecule of motivation and reward. Now, these don't flood your brain directly. Instead, they act locally, nudging the gut's own nerve endings and hormone-producing cells, changing the messages that get sent upstream to the brain. It's influence, not control. A nudge, not a command. So you have 4 channels, all broadcasting simultaneously: a high-speed nerve cable, a stream of hormones, inflammatory postcards, and microbial letters. All of this information converges on the brain. But what does the brain do with it? All of this gut chatter arrives at a few key processing hubs in the brain, most notably the anterior insula and the anterior cingulate cortex. This is where the magic happens. This is the center for interoception, your brain's sense of the internal state of your body. It's like the quiet, constant room tone of your own biology that your mind is always hearing. These brain regions stitch all those disparate signals, the nerve impulses, the hormones, the cytokines, into a single, coherent feeling: tension, energy, comfort, hunger, unease, calm. Now place that inside a much bigger idea: predictive processing. Your brain is not a passive camera that simply records reality as it happens. It's an active, relentless fortune teller. A prediction engine. Right now, your brain is predicting the next word you'll hear me say. It's predicting the feeling of the chair beneath you, the temperature of the room. And it's also predicting your internal state. It has a constant forecast running. My heart rate should be around 65 beats per minute, my stomach should be calm, my energy levels should be stable. It generates this forecast based on decades of past experience. When the actual signals coming up from the body, from the gut, match the prediction, everything is fine. The prediction error is low. You don't really feel anything. But when the incoming signals don't match the forecast? When your gut sends up an unexpected surge of inflammatory cytokines, or a sudden change in motility reported by the vagus nerve, your brain flags a prediction error. That feeling of sudden unease? The butterflies in your stomach? That flash of intuition that something is wrong? That is the prediction error. It's your brain's way of screaming, pay attention. My model of the world, or of myself, is wrong. Something unexpected is happening. Your gut's rhythms and chemistry become what scientists call priors, fundamental assumptions your brain uses to build its forecast of reality. Is the world safe or dangerous? Is now a time for rest and recovery, or a time for action? Can I afford to wait, or do I need to act now? The state of your gut is constantly biasing the answers. Let's do a quick myth check here, because you've probably heard that most of your body's serotonin is in your gut. And that's absolutely true. Roughly 90 to 95% of your total serotonin is made and stored in specialized enterochromaffin cells within your intestinal lining, with its production heavily modulated by your microbes. But here's the critical detail: that serotonin does not cross the blood-brain barrier. The serotonin made in your gut doesn't directly become the serotonin in your brain that regulates mood. So what does it do? It's a master regulator of gut motility. It helps coordinate the muscle contractions of digestion. And it signals indirectly to the brain. It powerfully stimulates the endings of that vagal superhighway and influences those immune routes we talked about. So, the feeling in your head can still be profoundly changed by what happens with serotonin in your gut, but the path is elegant, complex, and indirect. It's a beautiful example of how interconnected these two systems truly are. So, let's stress test this model. Back to our thought experiment. If we swapped your microbiome tonight, would you wake up a different person tomorrow? Biology says the changes would unfold on different clocks. The neural traffic on the vagus nerve updates in milliseconds. A threat is detected, a signal is sent, you feel a jolt of anxiety, instantly. Hormones speak in minutes. You eat a meal, GLP-1 is released, and your sense of hunger and reward shifts over the next half hour. But your microbial communities? They shift their balance over days and weeks. So tomorrow morning, you wouldn't be a new person. But you might notice a nudge. A subtle shift. Your cravings might be different. Your baseline level of calm might be slightly altered. The deeper edits to your personality, if any, would be negotiated over time, as your brain slowly updates its predictive models based on this new, sustained stream of data from its partner downstairs. Now let's flip the arrow, because this is not a one-way street. Your brain's expectations can dramatically change your gut. This is the world of the placebo and nocebo effect. Just the belief that a treatment will work can be enough to reduce gut inflammation and stabilize motility. Conversely, the belief that something will harm you, the nocebo effect, can create real, measurable gut symptoms. Your brain's top-down predictions reshape the bottom-up signals from the gut, which then travel back up and confirm the brain's prediction. The loop tightens. This creates a beautiful paradox. We call the gut a second brain because it has so much autonomy, yet the meaning of its messages, am I hungry or am I safe, am I restless or am I ready, only arises when the cortex in our head interprets them. Two distinct authors, collaborating on the single narrative of you. And here at the edge of our understanding, things get knotty. Do microbes directly change your mood, or does your mood, and the stress and diet it brings, change your microbes? The answer is almost certainly both, and that feedback loop makes experiments incredibly difficult. So how do we untangle this? New tools are arriving that are giving us an unprecedented look into this conversation. Vagus nerve stimulation, where a small device sends electrical pulses up the nerve, is already approved for treating depression, showing that we can alter mood by directly changing the traffic on that information superhighway. Scientists are growing gut-brain organoids in a dish, miniature, lab-grown tissues that let us watch the molecular conversations unfold in real time. And fecal microbiota transfers, or FMT, where an entire microbial community is transferred from a healthy donor, have shown remarkable success in treating C. diff infections and hint at causal power in other conditions, though safety and specificity are huge hurdles still being worked on. So what does all this mean for us, right here, right now? The sense of self starts to look less like a single commander in the skull and more like a constant, dynamic negotiation. Your feeling of confidence, your reserves of calm, even your sense of urgency about the future may be co-authored by neural networks you'll never consciously meet and microbial communities you'll never see. This suggests that good thinking requires good sensing. We often prize abstract logic, but this science points to a more embodied rationality. Learning to calibrate your interoception, to accurately read the signals on your own inner dashboard, can reduce the noise in your brain's prediction loop. When the signal is clearer, the world outside looks sharper, less haunted by anxious guesswork. And the practical implications are profound. Behavior that respects both brains is key. Sleep that allows your brain to stabilize its forecasts. A diversity of dietary fiber that feeds your microbial composers. Stress modulation that loosens the brain's anxious, top-down grip on the gut. And practices like deep, slow breathing that strengthen your vagal tone, quieting the statics so the real signals can carry their meaning. Maybe a gut feeling isn't primitive or magical at all. Maybe it's a fast, embodied inference. It's the first draft of wisdom, delivered by a well-trained scout who has a perspective your conscious mind can't access. It's not just poetry, it's a status report. A report we are finally learning how to read. So, that conversation between your two brains is happening at this very moment. And it leads to a question for you. What's the most powerful or surprising gut feeling you've ever acted on that turned out to be absolutely right? Drop that story in the comments below. I'm genuinely fascinated to read what you share. And if you want to get smarter at reading your body's signals and understanding the science of you, make sure you subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss what's next. Now, the next logical step on this journey is waiting for you on the end screen. It's a deep dive that I think will change how you see your own mind. Click it, and I'll see you there.